Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0-Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0-Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 373. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Happy New Week. Happy Monday. Some of you slackers, happy Tuesday. July's almost over. That's wild.
Yes.
Is that just what old people say? You're just like, wow, the month's
Where does the
almost
time
over.
go?
Wow, it's almost 2024.
I find myself saying that about once a week.
Just old. Just what old people do. It is what it is.
Did COVID mess with your sense of time?
A little bit. I think working remote has really
Done a number.
Really, yeah. Like yeah. I forget like what day of the week it is all the time. Without this podcast, I'd be a mess. I wouldn't know what Mondays were. I work Sundays, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, you'd be doing Friday pizza on Monday. You'd be taking off.
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday, just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad this podcast can serve some value to you.
Something. It's all right.
First episode back, I should say, since the trip to Phillies game. Didn't have a chance to recap that, but overall, it was pretty solid. I saw
the story. That had a crowd, dude, for being a day game.
That's what I said. It was a 12:35 game on a... What day did I go? A Thursday, because we were going to record. 12:35 game on a Thursday, and I took a picture of the announced attendance, and the people around me were like, "Nah, that's not true." But I was like, I could buy it. I mean, I certainly believe that it's close. They announced the attendance 38,276.
That's really solid. I don't buy that either. I would say closer to like 30, but still, when you're 30 plus on a day game on a Thursday in July, good for you. The East Coast starts school later though, right? Like kids don't get back into school until like almost September.
Oh no, we're at the end of August now.
Really?
Well, I can't speak for Philly, but East Coast out here, Virginia, we're end of August.
Because kids out here are already back. Isn't that nuts?
What?
Yeah, dude. Kids are already back. They went back like on Friday. Isn't that crazy?
You're lying to me.
Promise you, I was trying to get Chick-fil-A for lunch, and it was a little bit later, like lunch hours, like 2:30 for me. And sure enough, dude, the high school across the street just slammed with traffic. Chick-fil-A line backed up. School is back in.
It's not even August.
Doesn't that suck?
Well, we're not that crazy out here, so I guess the people that were at the Phillies Brewers game on Thursday were still on
They're soaking
vacay.
it in. Yeah. See, that's why it makes a little more sense for me. But
soaking in. The game sucked. The Phillies got 2 hit. It was, Corbin Burns just shoved it up their rears. I
didn't see the lineup. You said there wasn't going to be any guys in there.
Hey,
right?
All my guys started. Schwarber
really?
started. Trey started. Harper started. They may as well have just taken the day off, but they started.
Was that the day Bryce was at first?
No, he made his debut this weekend, I think.
It was over the weekend? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was this weekend. Yeah, because I made a note about it. Speaking of which, let's get into some weekend series results. Oh, hold on.
Cheesesteak review.
Cheesesteak review. Okay, yeah, good call. So,
did you get it authentic?
Yes, I did.
Good.
I didn't want to upset you. I didn't want to mislead you or the people.
When in Rome, right? There's only one way to do it.
So one of the other chaperones, he goes up to Philly a lot because his sister lives up there, and he goes a bunch of Philly games. And so I was asking him, I was like, so then it was us two, and then another chaperone went and picked up our lunches, and they were just like, let us know what you want. So I was asking the guy next to me who goes to a bunch of Phillies games. I was like, all right, so what's the deal with these cheesesteaks? And he's like, all right, they're gonna have like multiple options for cheese. It's gonna be like provolone, I think American, and then the whiz. And I'm like, okay, so provolone's the standard, right? And he goes, no, it's the whiz. You got to go with the whiz. So I was like, all right, so I'll get the whiz. So I put in the text, like, give me the whiz. And then I was like, what else? He's like, well, you got to get the onions on there. And I'm like, well, I'm not a big onions guy, but I'll do the onions anyway, just to be authentic, just to get the full experience. And let me tell you, dude, this thing was incredible. The grease, I'm sure you saw the story.
Running through the liner.
I think, yes. They may as well not even put that there. It was absolutely useless.
Or make it edible. One of the two.
Yes, true. My hands were they just had a sheen about them. Just the grease shine and all that. It was just running down my hands, but it was fantastic. And I certainly didn't feel good after I ate it, but it was incredible. They did it right.
Did the whiz hit you weird?
No.
Did it feel weird?
No. It felt right.
It made sense.
It made sense. I was like,
because I'm with you.
To...
Like, if I was to make a cheesesteak, obviously I'm not in Philly. I'm not going to follow like the unwritten rules, or like maybe they're very written rules of Philly cheesesteaks. I'm going provolone, and I'll put peppers in there. I might even mess around with some mayo, some lettuce, tomato. That's me outside of Philly, but in Philly, you got to go OG. So I'm proud of you. Good for you.
I thought peppers was part of the experience, or were part of the experience.
No,
but
just onions?
Apparently not to be. It was just onions and the cheese and the steak.
The bread makes it though, right?
Well, what was left of it? I mean, it was soggy as could be.
It wasn't wet, was it?
No, but it was. They could have just used a little less grease. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everything was great, but just there's no need to bathe it before you ship it out to the customer. That's all I'm saying.
It's understandable. All right.
Anyway.
Good for you, though. Proud of you.
Thank you. I'd give it like I didn't get to do a food review video, but that particular one, we're looking at like a 8.7. 8.8, right up there. It was solid.
All right. Any comments on the MV3 shirt?
No, I told you I had to wear my chaperone shirt.
Yeah, it's stupid. Couldn't wear a vest or something.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah,
just terrible.
Anyway,
weekend series results. Before we do that, I got a voicemail.
Hey, gentlemen, it's Jack here from Illinois. No specific baseball gripe or highlight to mention. Just wanted to say that appreciate what you guys do and look forward to your podcast dropping in my feed. I know it's kind of corny, but work and school and life can just get stressful, and I love when I get to just hang out for an hour and listen to you guys talk baseball, especially when the Cardinals suck. So anyway, just wanted to say thanks and keep it up.
Heck yeah. Thanks, Jack.
Love it.
Company, or what is it? Misery loves company, right? So it makes sense. I get it. It's understandable. Appreciate that, though. Love that voicemail.
Yeah, we love making your all's day, week, whatever it may be. We're not doing much out here. We're just meeting up a couple times a week, talking ball, talking food and cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we really do out here.
Yeah. Simple.
But glad to make your week a little better. Let's get into the weekend series. Yankees sweep the Royals. Anthony Rizzo hits his first home run since. Do you know what the day was?
Since Nam. It was back in the 70s.
Do you know what the day was?
I think it had to be pushing like 60, 70 ABs. So I'm going to say May 29th.
May 20th.
Oh gosh, even worse.
Not bad. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of zeroed in on that a little bit.
Quality silent treatment, by the way, in the dugout. Not sure if you saw that. Job well done on the silent treatment.
Padres over the Tigers. Detroit was outscored 19-7 in the first 2 games of the series, but avoid the sweep on Sunday with a win. Nationals sweep the Giants. It was the Nationals' first series sweep in nearly 2 years.
What? Really?
If that doesn't sound right,
That's wild.
it's because that's how bad they've been.
Sure.
Reds sweep the D-backs. The Reds' first sweep of the D-backs since... You have no context of this, but I just want to see where your guess is on this. The Reds' first sweep of the D-backs since when? This is purely just a guessing game because you have zero context to this.
I have
guess
no
whatsoever.
idea.
Just throw out a date.
We'll say 2017.
July 6th through the 8th of 2007.
Close.
Orioles take 3 of 4 from the Rays. Orioles, who started July 6.5 games back behind Tampa, have a 2-game lead over the Rays after winning for their 12th time in 15 games.
That series did not disappoint. I told you.
That was high quality. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute, but keeping it moving here. Guardians over the Phillies. Bryce Harper makes his career debut at first over the weekend and helps Philly avoid a 3-game sweep on Sunday. Rockies over the Marlins. Marlins end an 8-game losing streak with their win on Sunday.
Yikes.
That's not very Let's Go Marlins-esque.
It's not.
You don't like seeing 8-game losing streak.
Snot good.
Snot indeed. Twins sweep the White Sox. The White Sox were 4 for 28 with runners in scoring position.
Just miserable. Burn it down.
I'm with you at this point.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
Burn the whole thing.
miserable.
It's so bad. Just bad baseball.
From top to bottom. Front office all the way down.
Look, if you
Trash.
lose me as a supporter, you may as well just burn the whole thing down. That's a sad reality. Braves over the Brewers. Austin Riley goes 0 for 4 on Sunday to end a streak of 5 straight games with a homer, which, by the way, matches a Braves record.
Yeah, I was playing against him in fantasy. Dude was killing me all freaking week. It's
and
about
you
time.
still got the dub. That's how you persevere.
Snuck it out by 2 points. It was because of that streak ending. Appreciate you, Austin Riley. Thank you.
That's how you persevere. Cubs take 3 of 4 from the Cardinals. Cubs win the last 3 games of the series to take the series. Dodgers over the Rangers. Dodgers outscore the Rangers 27-8 in the first 2 games of the series, but Rangers rally on Sunday to avoid the sweep. Astros take 3 of 4 from the A's in an AL West series. That should surprise nobody. Angels over the Pirates. Shohei Ohtani homers in his final home game at Angel Stadium before the trade deadline.
Did you see it? It doesn't compute. The ball that is 3 inches inside, and he just linear one to center field. It doesn't make sense how he has that type of clearance with his barrel. It's absurd. It's absurd. The dude is an absolute freak.
Because
I
we're
like
talking
it,
about because we're talking about Ohtani, I just want to share this note. You probably saw the post from a couple days ago. According to Codified Baseball on Twitter, which is now X, by the way, did you see that? What?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Can we stop changing that app, please?
Why?
Anyway,
why? What does the X mean?
dude, I don't know. It's
Why is it still
Elon's
called
like
Twitter?
favorite letter. I don't know.
Oh yeah, isn't his
X,
kid named X or
something strange? And then
Cosine?
you got SpaceX. I don't know. SpaceX X Twitter makes no sense.
Okay.
Codified Baseball on X Shohei Ohtani, since coming to MLB, has 15 games with 2 home runs and 29 starts with 9 or more Ks. Not really relevant to this weekend, but I just thought that was worth sharing because that's
just a freak show.
That's insane. And lastly here, Mariners over the Blue Jays. Blue Jays get out of a jam in the 9th on Sunday to beat the Mariners to avoid a sweep. Did you know 10 of their past 11 matchups have been decided by 1 run or in extra innings, including all 6 games this season?
Mariners,
Blue Jays.
Interesting. That's tough.
10 of their past 11 matchups have been decided
I did see
by 1 run.
That little walk-off jab by Teoscar.
What was that?
That had to feel good. Little walk-off hit by Teoscar.
What was that?
Little walk-off hit.
No.
By Teoscar.
What was that? The walk-off?
Just a little kidney punch.
A little kidney punch?
That's got to feel good, honestly. Like, you feel like you're a part of an organization. You're building in the right direction. You're doing all this stuff. You're a part of, like, this, like, core. And then they ship you out, you know? So, good for Teoscar. Not the best year by any means. But, like, that's always got to feel good. And I hate the Blue Jays, so.
That you do. Let's look at some standings, shall we? As we do every Monday. In the American League East, after taking 3 or 4 from the Rays, the Orioles still remain in first at 61 and 38. 2 games up on the Rays, who are 61 and 42. Blue Jays 55 and 45 in third. And in 4th and 5th, you have the Red Sox and Yankees at 53 and 47, both 8.5 games back from the division and both 2 games back from the wild card. Yankees have won 3 straight. Red Sox have won 2 straight. In the Central, the Twins at the top at 53 and 48. The Guardians 49 and 50. They're 3 games back. The Tigers 45 and 54. The White Sox in 4th at 41 and 60. And in 5th, the lowly Royals at 28 and 73. The West, you got the Rangers 59 and 41. Astros 56 and 44. Angels at 51 and 49. The Mariners at 50 and 49. The A's at 28 and 74. I would just love, is it asking much? I know we talk about this every Monday, but for the Royals to just create some separation between the A's. Like, why? We're coming up on August. The prank is over. We can collect ourselves enough to become a team that's better than the Oakland A's. That's it.
Brutal.
National League East, Braves still sitting pretty at 64 and 34. However, they're 4 and 6 in their last 10.
Cruise control.
Phillies at careful now.
Telling you.
Careful.
It's gonna bite them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're warning against cruise control. I thought you were saying they can cruise, and I said, No.
No, they're already doing it.
We've seen that play out. Phillies, 53 and 46. They're 11.5 games back in second. Marlins at 54 and 47, also 11.5 games back. They're 2 and 8 in their last 10. Mets, 46 and 53 in 4th, and in 5th, the Nationals at 41 and 58. Central, Brewers at 55 and 45, Reds at 55 and 46. They're a half game back. Cubs at 48 and 51. They're 6.5 games back. Cardinals at 44 and 56. And the Pirates, yes, the lowly Pirates in last, 43 and 56. Cubs are the only team in that division still with the positive run differential. In the West, you got the Dodgers at 57 and 41, D-backs 54 and 46, Giants at 54 and 46, Padres at 48 and 52, and the Rockies at 39 and 60. I want to ask you, what teams can we just run through? Can we just run through here real quick and just RIP to teams that we can safely rule out of this thing?
Sure. Sure.
I mean, we talked about playoff odds like a week or so ago, but we're still in that window that you were talking about where you really had to turn it around. You really had to dial it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Some teams have not done that.
Yeah.
So I want to get a fresh take on who we can safely rule out of this thing. A little RIP, if you will.
Can't RIP anybody in the AL East. Not yet. AL Central, RIP Tigers, White Sox, Royals. See you later. Am I right? I can't quite RIP the Angels yet. I'm very close, but I can't do it quite yet. Nor can I do it with the Mariners. I'd like to. They deserve it because they're playing extremely mediocre baseball, but I can't quite yet. RIP A's. RIP Mets Nats. RIP. I'm not going to RIP the Cubs. I'm not going to do it.
Good for you.
I'm not going to do it.
Good for you.
I think I'm feeling it a little bit. We talked about teams that like needed to figure out what they are coming out of the break. They've done well. 6-4 in their last 10. Not great, but better than what you would expect. Cody Bellinger looks otherworldly right now. And it just keeps raising that price. And if I'm the Cubs, like, if you're not willing to meet that price, I'm not going to move him. You know what I mean? I'm not forced to move this guy. If you need to meet the asking price if you want Cody Bellinger. So that just keeps going up. So I'm not going to RIP them yet. But Cardinals, Pirates, see you later. And then Padres, Rockies, see you later. Down on the Padres. I don't even know why we're still talking about this. I don't know why there's still people coming to the defense of the Padres like there's time. There is no time. Fair? Did I miss any?
No, I'm just sitting here in disgust with myself for thinking that this team was capable of doing anything. There's
a lot of people feeling that way.
Safe to say, this day...
Look, preseason, I had them in the World Series.
I had them in the World Series. Did I have them winning the World Series?
I thought I may have had them winning it. I'm not sure.
We need to confirm this. I need to double check this.
I don't even want to acknowledge it. So bad. So disappointing.
It's not even that I'm upset with myself because, again, I'll say again, you look at the team coming into opening day. There was no reason...
Looks fantastic.
...not to think the Padres were at least capable of making it to the postseason, and here we are at the end of July.
4 games under 500. 10 back in the division.
I'm so... You want to hear a take? I'm close to Metsing the Padres.
Ooh. You're saying moving forward or just this year?
Moving forward, for me, in terms of how I view the Padres, I don't care who they add in the offseason because clearly the additions aren't helping. It's more than that, it seems. It seems to be a chemistry issue. But if we'll see how the year finishes out. I'm out on them this year. I'll say officially today.
Yeah. Cool. Good. It's about time.
Monday, July 24th, out on the Padres. You disgust me. We'll see how the year finishes out. But if they continue to spiral, I'm going to treat them the same way I treat the Mets year in and year out. I don't care what they do. I don't care what owner they bring in. I don't care what front office additions they make. I don't care what on-field additions they make. I will not buy the hype because we've had consecutive years of this, if not more, of, okay, Padres are legit. Padres are legit. World Series favorites. No. They have not put it together.
I'm just lost. Like, I don't see where the hole is. Where is it? Bob Melvin is a hell of a manager. You have a roster that people would beg for. You have a GM that's going out there and doing stuff. And what sucks is that all those guys, particularly Preller and Melvin, are most likely going to be remembered for putting this team in a deep Great Depression for the next 4 or 5 years. You're going to struggle to recover from this. For you emptying your farm and your bank account to get this.
I had the Padres over the Astros in 7. You had the Padres over the Mariners in 7.
Yikes.
Padres might not even win 7 games the rest of the season.
Whack prediction. Yeah, that's true. Very true.
I'm not going to beat myself up over the pick. I thought I was making what I consider to be a reasonable pick.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm over it.
This team disgusts me.
True.
I'm so done.
How do you feel about the Hader being added to the block?
Yes, Hader. We have Hader and Snell. I
think we knew Snell. Most people had a feeling about that. I don't think they came out and openly said anything until now, right?
Yeah, both are set to hit free agency. I mean, it makes sense. Again, if you lose me as a supporter,
yeah,
it's safe to say that the front office has seen the writing on the wall for some time. So it makes sense. Get what you can for these guys.
Is there a spot you see? I predicted Snell to the O's.
Which I really like, and I still hold that as a top pick.
Do you have a spot for Hader?
It was weird because in the vein of the Orioles conversation, I saw various accounts talking about like what a trade package would look like to get the both of them, and I'm like, you don't
need to. Yeah.
You don't need him.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like obvious buyers. I don't see him staying in the division.
Presley for the Astros. I'm not saying the Astros, but he had a little bit of a slow start there. If that would have continued, that would have been a spot for him.
Yeah, we've seen the ups and downs with him before, but seems unnecessary.
He's turned it around. He's doing.
I
well.
know the Braves have been doing a ton of stuff, and these are a bunch of little under the radar moves in the last few days. Like they've added a bunch of depth. But Raiso Iglesias, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what this man, he bamboozled a lot of people, I think. So
yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, if you're the Braves, I wouldn't hate it either. If you're the Braves,
as a rental,
if you want to just lock down what's shaping up to be
it's a deep run.
I say shaping up to be. We got to see how this cruise control path continues, but
they're poised for a deep run.
If you wanna shore that up a little bit, Hader might be a guy. Hader might be a guy. For Snell though, outside of Baltimore, who would you potentially see there?
The tough thing is that like you think of what the Padres need. Like what would they ask for in return? And I don't really know that. But we heard reports coming out like today, maybe even yesterday, that the Reds are okay with putting Jonathan India on the block to get pitching. but they are more looking for a controllable contract because Jonathan India is under control. So, I mean, like the fit makes sense, but I don't know if like the actual details of the contracts would make sense. I really genuinely can't imagine Padres getting him over to LA. But the Dodgers need starting pitching as well. Again, rental situation. We've heard that the Dodgers may be in on bringing back Scherzer.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something there. I think Padres fans would probably cry themselves to sleep for a while if they watched Snell help the Dodgers in a postseason run, but like that makes sense too. And again, more of a rental because you have guys that are going to come back next year. You don't really need to bring him back.
Snell to the Dodgers would make more sense too, because I was reading that the Mets would be asking, I think, for either Verlander or Scherzer to take on a significant amount of.
The Mets would have to eat a ton.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think that I didn't, dude, they're both owed like something crazy next year. Aren't they both owed like 43? I think they have the same contract.
41, I thought.
They're either way, it's in the 40s, right?
Yeah. 43, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The more that I know I had this hot take of like Scherzer pitching in the World Series, which was not at all about the Mets going on a run. It was about them moving on from him and him helping a contender. But like, if you're the Mets, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like who would you get back to put you in this same position next year? So maybe it really doesn't make sense to, I mean, you'd have to eat whatever's left of this year, which I would assume is probably like 15, 17. I don't know that math wrote that well, but past the halfway point. So maybe like 12 to 15 this year, majority of next year, if not all of it. So like, are you going to eat 50 mil to move on from a Max Scherzer or Verlander and get back maybe somebody that could help you? I don't know. I don't think it would scratch the itch for the Mets. It doesn't make sense for them to do it. Definitely not both. I don't think they move both. They could move one, but yeah, they'd have to eat a lot. And then you're kind of back to like this, like you're in the same position as you were last offseason before you got the guy. I don't know. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. I think they have other pieces that they can move on and still rebuild. Canna, Starling Marte, guys like that you could probably move and still get something for without totally deconstructing what you built.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't feel too much of a sting getting rid of some of these other guys, but
yeah.
I mean, this is what happens every trade deadline. You get to this point and you read conflicting reports saying, well, this duo or this trio of rumored players is likely to be dealt. And then you, on the flip side, it's like, well, not likely. And it's all posturing. It's all leaking to reporters. It's all negotiation leverage, which I understand, but it just makes it more difficult when you're trying to project what's going to be taking place come August 1st. When you hear names like Scherzer and Verlander, you're like, okay, well, let's dive a little deeper into this. And then it's like, well, teams aren't really interested in moving them after all.
Yeah.
Which all that to say is what I read. I was reading this weekend saying that the Mets, kind of like what you were hinting at, really not looking to ship those names off. But as with any of this stuff, everybody's got a price, and if the right option or offer comes along, it's possible we could see one of those two moving. I feel Is it just me, or is Verlander kind of turned it around as of late?
They both are pretty up and down.
I mean, he's brought his ERA down to 3.47.
Yeah.
What if his
I mean, he diced against the White Sox his last start. 8 innings, 1 earned run. It's not like he's struggling by any means. It's just like the name of Justin Verlander. You expect more. So it would be interesting to see a little bit of a reunion in Houston.
Yeah.
What a baller move that would be for the Astros front office if they were like, we're not bringing you back for 40 a year. And then the Mets go give it to him. Then the Mets eat half of that, if not more. And then the Astros get him back for half the cost.
And then win the World Series.
That would go down as pretty... there's sometimes like front office moves really get me jazzed up, you know? They really, it's just like, wow. Smart man. Smart move. I don't know if it'll happen, but it could be interesting.
Well, I mean,
why go after Scherzer? I've heard Scherzer attached to the Astros. Why go Scherzer instead of Verlander? Like, wouldn't you want to just bring back the guy that's the same cost, that has experience, and that the fan base loves? Yeah. So, weird.
I'm talking about reunion. If Scherzer gets dealt, we've already mentioned it. Send him to Arizona.
Yeah. I like that too. I like the reunion there. I'm so curious who can the Reds get? I mean, I personally, if the Yankees could figure out move Severino, maybe even Glaber for Jonathan India, sign me up. Maybe one other prospect, like a Johnny Brito, made a bunch of starts this year. If the Yankees could pull that off, I'd be very happy with that. Jonathan India is I think a big trade chip. I was surprised to hear that thing come out about him. A little notification about him.
Well, if you remember, and we talked about it on here not too long ago, but there was a little bit of I don't know if tension's the right word, but a little bit of confusion on Jonathan India's part, talking about like looking around going, why haven't I received any sort of security for my future here? And the Reds...
He's still locked down for a couple of years, right? He's still in ARB years.
No, I know, but I'm saying he's still looking around going, you see all these other guys that are still locked down getting these... I mean, Braves come to mind, obviously, but yeah, I mean, he's probably a little upset there. So...
Dude, he's still got 3 years left after this of ARB. He's still in pre-ARB. He's not a free agent until 2027.
Maybe in a weird way, there's some writing on the wall behind closed doors where it's like, we can already see that this relationship is going to be a little bit fractured.
Yeah, do you mess with the vibes? Do you mess with the culture and like the happy-go-lucky, we're not supposed to be here situation that you're currently in? Or are you just kind of playing with house money if you're the Reds? Like, hey, we're not supposed to be here. We're ahead of schedule. Let's build, maybe do something this year, but really just end the year on a high note. Worst case scenario, you miss the postseason, but everyone says, hey, great year. You're on the up and up. And then you come back in next year and you have holes filled. You have names plugging some of those holes. It's just interesting. I wonder what's there with Jonathan India and why there's an issue. It doesn't really compute.
I mean, if you're Jonathan India, though, how much, sure, rookie of the year, but like, and I'm all for believing in yourself, but you have to take a look at yourself and be like, how much of a contract can you really be demanding at this point in your career?
Yeah. It's just tough, dude. But I mean, making the minimum $760,000, it's probably going to go up. He had a rough sophomore year. He's had a good year this year.
Yeah.
So he's probably only going to make a couple mil next year. What a dream that would be. I would love if the Yankees did that.
Go snatch him up. Any vibes changed on your part with Shohei?
I'm still on the fence. I still this home run race still makes me think it's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
You think the Angels just view that as a cash grab and choose to hold on to him?
Possibly. If the Mariners were in better shape, if the Mets were in better shape, if the Yankees were in better shape, I could see. I mean, there's only a few teams that are going to make this happen.
That's a good point. Yeah.
For them to be out of it, it's just interesting. Not out of it, but not in that high of a buying power.
Yeah, not in a position to buy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd be shocked. I know people are saying hey, there's a chance a small market team could do it for just the rental. I'd be shocked.
I don't know, man.
I want it. I think a lot of baseball fans want the move. Just not sure.
It's just it really sank in a little bit when I read that headline where it was the last potential home game, Angel Stadium before the trade deadline. I'm like,
that was yesterday, right?
Yeah, Sunday. Or not last potential, but last game at Angel Stadium
before the deadline.
For the trade deadline, potentially for the remainder of his career. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I can't really commit. I'm gonna stop trying to figure it out. I'm just gonna sit back and see if it happens, because at the end of the day, we didn't RIP the Angels, so who knows?
Oddly enough, as we're talking about this, Bleacher Report just hit me with the Angels have had Ohtani talks. Team has communicated with potential buyers, but Angels' recent wins have lowered the chance of the trade. I don't think that has anything to do with it. A little bit to do with it.
I mean, not a little bit, dude. They're only 4 games back. If you're the Angels, you don't need to do anything in the postseason. You simply need to get there. That's all we want. That's all Mike Trout wants, I think. That's all Shohei Ohtani wants, is to make it to the postseason. And I say I think for Mike Trout because, I don't know, with every passing season, that contract just looks more and more like a wish to just kind of finish out your career.
Who needs a
quietly.
bat? Who needs a bat? They could move like a Renfroe and possibly get a little something in return, maybe. I don't know. Joe Adell being hurt doesn't help. If he was up and healthy, I think they'd move Renfroe. I'm trying to think of other names. You're
saying as like a plan B to moving Shohei,
because I don't think they should do nothing.
Sure.
I think you can add by subtraction. Someone that you're not going to bring back. You can get a big league ready guy to fill the hole for Renfroe and a prospect. Not a super high prospect, but there's got to be a team out there that needs a bat. Maybe the Phillies? Can Renfroe play first?
Nah, he's outfield.
I thought he played first. Milwaukee, bring him back. They need sticks. They always need bats. Giants, there's some interesting stuff there. Yeah, I think the Angels, they could do something.
Brewers have that's a good point about the bats. Brewers have the second worst run scored total in the division.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only 5 up on the Pirates.
Right.
For 4th.
They need bats, dude. They need something.
Wow. They really do suck offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. They have the second fewest runs scored in the National League. Wow.
Brutal.
Yeah, they could use
so
bat.
bad.
They could use bat. Talking about bats. No, we're going to talk about SeatGeek. Nate, it's the answer to all your ticket needs. You're looking for tickets, you have plans of friends or family to make it to an upcoming game or concert, or are you even looking months ahead to nail down a date to get tickets before they sell out? With SeatGeek, you can find tickets, games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks, or make it even better for you if you're a first-time user of SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code THREEOHTAKE. That's our social handle at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. It's all you got to do to save some of that.
Cash. Cold. It's hard. It's cash.
Cold hard cash. Enter promo code 30take at checkout. Rays Orioles. Again, in a situation in which should have been primetime baseball, Sunday night was not. Still gave us a series worth watching.
Great series.
And if I recall, you correctly predicted that the Orioles would go
They would take 3 out of 4.
and take 3 out of 4.
Look at that. Look at that. What great baseball. Honestly, I didn't get to watch the whole series, but a couple things that stuck out to me. I didn't realize how dope Gunnar is.
Dude, I'm glad you brought it up.
What
What a show he put on.
he had a fingerprint on every game. I mean, AL Player of the Week for sure. For whatever, awards are going around out there, he's got to be up there. The dude with the glove, with base running.
Bro, did you see the play down the line? He popped up.
Rosarena?
Well, no, that's a whole nother thing. But the
I'll
play
get
that he
into that in
made,
a sec, yeah.
the play that he made down the line, pops up and nabs him back, doubles him up at first.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just disgusting.
He's doing stuff, dude. Like and it's either at short or third, it doesn't matter. And
then he had that play up the middle.
He has a hose. Have you seen him turn double plays? Like, why are we talking about Carlos Correa with arm strength and double plays and stuff? This dude is just cannon.
I saw a bunch of comments this weekend talking about how, like, why are we talking so much about Ellie De La Cruz in terms of his flash when Gunnar Henderson is making similar, if not better, plays.
Yeah, he's real. He's very, very real.
Hey, shout out to Ryan too, man, because I'll give him credit. He's been on this guy's train for a long time, and he's been telling people, even when Gunnar was struggling out of the gate, he's like, just be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Just be patient. This guy's legit.
Yeah.
And just give him some time.
He's a freak, man.
And sure enough, what did the Orioles do? They I don't even want to say they tread water. Like, they kept winning and just kind of kept Gunnar alongside, said, hey, man, whenever you want to figure it out,
that's
we'll
the
roll.
perfect part of the scenario too, right? Because like you just keep finding a way to win. And the way I see it is that like Jorge Mateo isn't enough to keep Gunnar on the bench. You know what I mean? If you can find a way to win and let him just settle in like he has, now look what you got. Now look what you've created. So yeah, the guy's just a freak. Like, he did stuff all weekend.
And then the thing, like you're saying, with Randy. Oh, what is that, dude?
Randy made some questionable stuff in left field. Like, he did some real interesting things multiple times. For those unaware, little flare down the left field line off of Gunnar's bat that is definitely a double because he's quick. No problem with that. But Randy is just real slow getting to it, and Gunnar turns it into a triple right in front of his face. This ball wasn't laced. This ball wasn't in the corner. It was just Randy being real flat-footed.
It was so bad. If you haven't seen the video, I recommend going to watch it because
it's ugly.
It was so bad that I thought the caption was written for the wrong video because it said, Gunnar turns this into a triple. I said, the ball is in shallow left field.
Right.
What are you talking about? And then I'm like, okay, let's watch it play out. And just chaos ensues. I'm like, Randy, what are you doing, guy?
There was another one where it was a man on third, less than 2 outs, fly ball to left center. And you could see like Jose Siri coming in hot, dude. Like, when there's a man on third, less than 2 outs, no one else on base. As an outfielder, like, you kind of drool at that scenario because you just air it out, right? Like, you got nothing to lose. You try to hose them. If not, you airmail it, like, whatever, run scores anyway. No one on base, like, no harm, no foul. So you see Jose Siri just busting it to get to this ball. And then here comes Randy, just like drift over, catch it on his heels, and makes no attempt to like do anything with it. Had another one, I think, yesterday where he took a really strange route to a ball that ended up being over his head and off the wall. Just like, it gave me a really bad taste in my mouth. I'm fine with Randy doing Randy things, being fun. Got the arm fold going. You get some clutch ABs, some clutch RBIs. Make the occasional play in the outfield, but like, you cost runs right there in a series where you can't be doing that. So it was ugly.
And it's not, well, let me just say this. So the Rays started the season 30-10. In their last 61 games, they're 30-31. And I say that like knowing that the regression was inevitable. Like, it wasn't, you weren't going to sustain that. We know that. But we just got done talking about the Braves and how whether or not they are, you could make the argument that they're in cruise control right now. The difference being as good as the Braves are, and as good as the Rays are. Correct.
That's the difference.
They can afford to do this. The Rays, you're no longer in first place, but even if you were, the Orioles would have been like, say like a week ago, whenever the last point in time that they were in first place, before the weekend, whenever it was, you wouldn't have been able to afford to do that because the Orioles have been on your heels and have since surpassed you in the division. So
yeah,
to see that kind of lazy baseball, the mental lapses that we saw this weekend from the Rays, especially at home, which was disappointing. I mean, they're 36-18 at home, so it's not like they play bad baseball at home. This was just not a good weekend for them, and they couldn't afford to play like that this weekend.
I think they need to do something at the trade deadline. They need to do something to get like re-sparked, reignited. I don't know what it is, but they need to do something.
I mean, it's worth repeating about the reports about them being the mystery team for Shohei, which still to this day makes negative sense to me, but
Yeah.
here we are, I suppose.
Oh, cool. Another update. Padres expected to hold on to both pitchers, referring to Snell and Hader. What
interesting?
Like,
it's almost like I said that
every day. Just something new, something different.
It's so I get that they have to do it, but it's so transparently obvious what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like why even come out with the reports that like, oh, we're shopping. Oh, just kidding. We're gonna hang on to these guys. Everyone and their mother knows what you're doing. So why can't we just like skip the games and just like make these deals happen?
These games are getting old. I'm sick of them. And why? Why are you holding on to them? For what?
Maybe the Padres are having a little bit of the Met syndrome. Or no, not the Met syndrome. They're having a little bit of Yankee syndrome where they're getting too big for their britches and can't take an L and can't
Six
swallow
games
their pride.
back in the wild card, though. The Yankees are 2 games back.
I'm not saying the Yankees this year per se. I'm saying like historically over the last handful of years.
Too prideful to take the L.
Correct.
Yeah, I hear you. Dumb, but I hear you.
Hey, I'm not the team that's 10 games back in the division.
Yeah.
That's not me. Blame the Padres. Look at the Padres. It's not me.
Trash.
You got anything else? A little bit on the shorter end today, but
Yeah.
I don't want to spend the rest of my life talking about these games that these teams are playing with their trade pieces.
Yeah, it's just, speculation is getting old. I think we will see, we're going to start to see like little moves.
Well, yeah, we're already starting to see that.
Yeah.
Like little move here or there.
Yeah, little moves that, like, the one thing that stuck out to me, kind of going back to the Orioles Rays series, was the, who was the Japanese pitcher they got from the A's?
Fuji.
Yeah. He kind of got barreled all weekend. So that was, to me, like, I wonder if the Orioles did something to see, like, hey, change of scenery. Will this guy be as good as expected? But you do it early enough before the deadline that if he isn't, you can still recover and get somebody else. So we still got a week left.
Sure.
I could see the Orioles like giving him as many opportunities as possible over the next few days to really see if he's got anything in there. And then if not, you gotta look elsewhere.
Did he get barreled though? Because I saw in his debut that I think it was like the first pitch or like first AB, one of those two, that he gave up a bomb and then settled in for the rest of the outing. But then I think, he gave up earned runs in consecutive outings. One on Friday, another on Saturday.
Yeah.
2 walks. Yeah, not ideal, but still a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And the Orioles, the Orioles I saw, which I can believe this report. This doesn't seem too much like speculation, but it was saying that the Orioles are reported to be, I can't remember the word they use, but essentially cautious buyers at the deadline. Like they could look to maybe, I think it was saying that they would offload some position player depth to maybe acquire some more pitching, but that they're not looking to make any sort of splash. Which is smart. Play it low and then go out and get Shohei.
You're going to die on that hill, aren't you?
I mean, it makes sense.
For you.
Name me a better team that it makes sense. Makes more sense then.
Oh, man. It's a short drive over there. I'm sure you'd be over there quite a bit.
I would.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Mullins being hurt really kind of shook things up for them.
Did it
made
though?
things difficult.
Did it?
Not necessarily results wise, but like you just have like you're in this weird spot. Everyone talks about like how great Hicks has been with them, but it hasn't been like spectacular. It's just he's been league average, which he wasn't with the Yankees.
when the floor was what it was, anything that he does
That's what I'm
is
saying.
going to make him like Babe Ruth.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Then like what they're doing with the Cowser, like I don't know. It's just interesting. Seems like they're kind of showcasing some names a little bit.
For Shohei.
Yeah. They need arms.
You know who pitches?
He's got a pretty good arm. Yeah.
Shohei.
Ay.
You know what else he does?
He
hits.
He does hit. He does hit.
In fact, he leads all of Major League Baseball in home runs. So you talk about a team that needs arms. Sure, he can do that for you. But, oh, by the way, he'll be bringing with him the league lead in home runs. So, again, if you're the Orioles, it might behoove you.
You're giving up Jackson Holiday.
It
have to.
It may behoove you to take heed of.
Take headed
of this advice. Now, if I'm the O's, I'm not giving up Jackson Holiday. The dude's drawing like, what did I see? Like, what did I see the other day? Like a bases loaded walk in like his 20th AB at AA or something.
Yeah, he's doing well.
I mean, come on.
He's doing well.
Kid looks like he's 11.
Quickly doing well.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving up Jackson Holiday. No, thank you. All right, that's all I really got. I don't want to speculate anymore. We're getting to that point where
I'm just ready for something fun.
Yeah, his moves need to start happening.
Yeah, give him something good. I see some White Sox being moved before our next recording. How about that?
I like that.
Giolito.
Even more, give me who and where.
I've been saying Giolito to the Rangers, but I feel like Giolito to the Dodgers may be picking up more momentum. What do you think of that?
I like it. Yeah, I'm reading the same things.
Attach TA as well. Not like the Dodgers are going to ask for him, but the White Sox are going to be like, yeah, take him too.
Yeah.
You know? It's got to be a
like
sweetener.
It out there.
It's not like they're, there's still a little bit of like a rotating situation going on at short. I don't know. I think Giolito in LA just kind of looks right.
I can see it. I like it. I don't know about before next recording though, but to your point about some White Sox being moved before next recording, I could see it. I like it.
Yeah. Cool. That's all I got.
Leaving the people with a little something. I like it.
Yeah.
Big fan. We'll see you guys Thursday. Nate, are we going to see you Thursday? Am I going to see you Thursday?
We'll see. Toss up. Only if that move is correct. Only if I correctly predicted that. Then.
But if not,
then you're doing it solo. Yeah.
I'll do it solo. I've done it before. I can do it again. All right. We will see you guys Thursday.
Bye-bye. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all. And as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.